Hey yo, it's your boy Kaliko. Today, on Mining America, I'm going to be giving you some story time. And this story time is about why I got 86'd, thrown out, told never to come back to the Royal Peacock Opal Mine in Virgin Valley. More of that right after this. So I just got done recording this video, and I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video because there's something I forgot to say, and I meant to say it, and I totally forgot. Dear people at the Royal Peacock Opal Mine, I'm sorry, I did not mean to betray your trust. It was an accident in that I completely forgot that I had made a promise, and at no point did I do anything to intentionally upset or harm you guys. It was never my intent, and it took me almost 2 years to realize what I had done. And I apologize because the last thing I would want to do is create more drama in that valley, because it seems like the people that live in that valley create enough drama for themselves. They don't even need any help from an outsider. All right, now that the opening's done, which we kept talking about how much I like this opening, and a few of you have said how much you like the opening too, and thank you very much. I don't plan on changing that opening because I did have one of the commenters that was like, don't change it, but I would like to make some openings for some of my other ideas that go along with this channel. But I digress, because this video is about why I got 86th from the Royal Peacock Opal Mine in Virgin Valley, Nevada. Now, it took me almost 2 years to figure out what I'd done wrong to end up getting 86th from there. So just to get into the meat of the story, I shouldn't even really be telling you this, but since I already ruined my opportunities at the Royal Peacock, it really doesn't matter too much. And I like to be a transparent guy, but being an honest and transparent guy is actually what got me 86th from the Royal Peacock. And one of the problems with being thrown out of the Royal Peacock Opal Mine is it can be one of the only places where you can buy stuff. It's the only store besides Denio that has any sort of like drinks and water and power and stuff like that. So if you don't bring your own stuff like that, you can really be sort of SOL out of luck. So getting back to it, the first time, and this is the secret part, the first time I dug at the Royal Peacock, which was the time, just to get into it, the first time I dug at the Royal Peacock, I had actually made a couple of phone calls when I first started this channel. And when I first started to go on the road, I had contacted a couple of places, and I had asked them if it would be possible for me to come out there and dig and make some videos of me digging, and I didn't have a lot of money to do it. I was just hoping that the possible advertisement of certain places, shops, and I was just hoping that the advertisement that these places would get would be enough to pay my way to some of the more expensive digs. Now, there was a couple of places that I contacted that I'd already done some research on, and I'd already seen reviews of these places, and I'd already seen videos on TV and stuff about these places, to where I didn't think there was any way I was going to be giving them a bad review. And the only way you'd really get a bad review from me is if your operation is dishonest. The only times I've actually given anybody bad reviews was literally their operation was dishonest. Now, there's times I didn't find too much and I wasn't too excited, so it wasn't like, this place is 5 stars. Yet, when it comes to the Royal Peacock, before I ever stepped foot in there, I pretty much knew that even if I didn't find anything, that other people have found amazing stuff at their mine. Now, 2 places let me dig and didn't charge me a fee. One of those places was Topaz Mountain Adventures. Now, I did pay my $40 day passes for Topaz Mountain Adventures, but then when they found out I was doing YouTube videos, they wanted me to stick around and they wanted me to do the the dig where they blow stuff up. They wanted to place their explosives, and I wanted to get that on video, and so they offered that to me at no charge, and that was a $600 cost. They charge people, I believe, $600 at the time to do the blast dig. And so I was really excited about that. And one of the other places that had given me the opportunity to come out there and dig and had the potential for me not to have to pay for it was the Royal Peacock Opal Mine. Now, neither them nor I expected to have the type of stuff happen that happened while I was there. The weekend while I was there, their patriarch had died. One of the person's fathers and another of the person's grandfather, and the man that really got everything started in the Virgin Valley, Harry Bill as he's known back out in the Virgin Valley, Harry Bill Wilson, he died the day I got there. The night, I should say, I got there at night. That next morning, there was ambulances and there was police, and he had passed away. And that caused a lot of commotion inside of the family that's out there, because it's a family-run operation. And they were going through a lot, and even though they were going through a lot, they tried to keep their operation still running, even though they had had one of the most important people in their lives pass away. I made my video, I did the video, and I think at some point I was asked not to tell other people that I hadn't paid for my digs. Now, at the time of this, it was fresh in my mind. I made that agreement. Yet a couple of years later, I completely forgot about the agreement. It was at least a year and a half later, if not 2 years later. I completely forgot that I had promised them that I wouldn't tell other people that they hadn't charged me for that dig. And that was the only dig that they didn't charge me for, because I went back another time after that and I paid every day that I was out there. I didn't ask for anything for free. I paid for everything I used, and it was not free digging for me except for the first video that I recorded out there. And I shouldn't say it wasn't free, because the traveling and everything still cost me, yet the second time I went out there, some of my viewers helped pay for that dig. And I sent most of the stuff I got from those digs to my viewers. Now, fast forward about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I'm out at the Rainbow Ridge in Virgin Valley. And I had been trying to have a chance to do a video at the Rainbow Ridge a couple of times. And a couple of my friends that are out there kept asking me not even to try and record out there, to not talk to the owner out there and see if I could do a video out there. And my first experience out at Rainbow Ridge, I was out there by myself and I was digging around, and he dumped an extra bucket of fresh dirt near me and let me go through it, and he had extra for his people that had bought buckets, which is not cheap out at Rainbow Ridge. Now, later on, when I'm out there, I'm trying to talk to the owner about having an opportunity to record a video out there. And he wasn't into me recording a video out there, and I watched him work with his customers and saw that he's one of the most he has some of the best customer service I've ever seen of any mine owner anywhere. At the same time, he sort of played me for a fool, told me I couldn't record out there, asked me to never come back out there because I had dug around and done something that he found was offensive. And then at some point in asking me questions, he had asked me if I had paid for all of my digs at Royal Peacock. And I think somehow it was very sort of shady the way he was questioning me, and I didn't understand I was falling into a trap, and I completely forgot the conversation I had had where I was asked to not tell anybody that I hadn't paid for my first digs out there. Now, like I said, it was the weekend that Harry Bill died. I was out there for a few days doing my recording and digging and trying to find something good to have on video. I still never found anything that weekend that was like, oh my God, amazing. No specimen grade, no, I found my first big piece of black opal wood, but it hasn't had a bunch of amazing color in it or anything, but it was still a pretty cool find. Yet, I can't remember his name right now, and I could look it up, but I don't care to. The owner of Rainbow Ridge, he totally was treating the whole situation as a way to cause problems inside of the Virgin Valley. And I didn't understand that at the time, and it took me 2 years to even realize and remember that I had had a conversation with the owners of the Royal Peacock and said that I wouldn't tell anybody that they didn't charge me the time that Harry Bill Wilson died. Now, anybody else on the outside of this would think, big deal, what does it matter? Yet the politics in the Virgin Valley are insane. Some of the people in the Virgin Valley are insane. Some of the stuff that some of these people have been through from other people is totally insane. And I know there's one guy that watches my channel that would hate for me to talk about the circumstances and the situations that he has put families through in that valley. I know that the owner of the Rainbow Ridge has asked me not to talk about that situation either, so I'm not going to. Yet at the same time, Rainbow Ridge in general is a great place in the Virgin Valley. They have some amazing color that comes out of the ground. 99% of its specimens, it's not going to dry out and be super hard, good opal, which is the way the Virgin Valley goes for the most part. Yet, the way that he was questioning me, and then the way that he used that piece of information that I gave up, once again, when I said it, I'd completely forgotten that I had said that I wouldn't tell anybody. Yet, that is what ended up offending the people at the Royal Peacock, because the Royal Peacock and Rainbow Ridge, they're neighbors, and they talk to each other, and I guarantee you that, I can't remember his name, but the dude from Rainbow Ridge went to I can't remember her name either, went to the owners of the Royal Peacock and said, oh, you lied to me, like, you didn't charge him that first time. And I guarantee you that that caused static down there inside the Virgin Valley. And that is why later on, at some point when I was back in the Virgin Valley, when I was doing my video, I believe, of the Bonanza. Is that the name of it? Of the video where they have timeshares. I'll put a clip of the screenshot of the it's not a timeshare, but they sell shares. There's 100 shares of the, I'm really brain farting on the names right now, I tell you what. Yet, I was out there doing that video, and I was inside of where I could attach to their Wi-Fi at the Royal Peacock Opal Mine, and I was buying some sodas, and it was early in the morning, and one of the people that helps the people at the Royal Peacock came out and said a bunch of mean stuff to me. And it wasn't anything that had to do with anything. I wish they would have just told me exactly why I had upset them, because then I would have understood and I would have remembered. But it literally took me like 2 years to realize that it was this circumstances and me being honest with one person and then using that honesty to go and piss another person off, when if I would have remembered that I made a promise, I just would have lied to the guy, because the promise would have been more to me than telling him what the truth was. And it really didn't matter anything I said to this person anyways, because he was never going to let me do a video there in my mind, and he was always sort of fishing for a reason to have a problem with the Royal Peacock. Now, once again, he has some of the best customer service I've ever seen, but he should for the prices he charges per bucket. It might have gone up. It was $600 a bucket then, and 99% if you get anything in your bucket, it's just going to be specimen grade stuff that you have to keep in water. If you dry it out, it's going to craze, it's going to crack, and it's going to fracture everywhere. So it's just amazing specimens that you're probably never going to get of opal anywhere else in the world. Like that is a fact. Yet at the same time, the way he played that whole situation and made my time in the Virgin Valley worse was really, really cold-hearted. It was really bad. Like, I don't like him at all right now. It's pretty upsetting. Realizing that that's why I got 86'd from Royal Peacock, that's sort of upsetting too. Yet at the same time, it's sort of like not being able to be in the middle of people that have nothing but their own self-interest at heart. Because that's really the way it is. He has his own personal self-interest with his mine and making money off of the tourism that comes there. And she has her own self-interest and her family in mind in making money off the tourism out there. And in reality, they're competition for each other. And that whole situation is what drug me in and got me inside of that situation. And there's a lot of drama inside of the Virgin Valley. And these two places create more drama for themselves than they really need. I mean, they treat one guy out there who's one of the most knowledgeable people about opal I've ever met, especially about Virgin Valley opal, and he's a little bit crazy, but at the same time with being a little bit crazy, he's also one of the people that goes out of his way to protect some people's claims out there and protect them from having to deal with somebody who has proven to be a way worse person than any of them. He proved it when he was younger. He still tries to prove it as an adult. There is somebody that's obsessed with the claims out there and just can't leave well enough alone, even though he's caused enough problems for his life and for other people's lives. Like I said, there's a lot of drama in the Virgin Valley. I plan on visiting the Virgin Valley again, and I'll visit my friends out there, and I'll probably stop at the Bonanza, and I'll probably dig at the places that I can dig at. Yet, I'm not too worried about being 86'd from the Royal Peacock Opal Mine. It's a pretty expensive dig. For 99% of the time, if you do get good opal out of there, you're never going to be able to do anything with it except for keep it in a jar of water. Same thing with the Rainbow Ridge. It's great stuff. Like, you'll find some amazingly big pieces of opal that you'll have to sit in a jar for the rest of their lives. It will never be gem grade material. And for the prices that you pay for those two experiences, which is a bunch of work, it's just like digging for anything else, but that bentonite clay that's out in Virgin Valley, it could be a hell of a lot of work for a very little payoff. You're not going to, or I'm not, or you're not going to be able to do much with what you get. If you get lucky, you'll get some opalized wood. And if you get some opalized wood, and I mean it'll still have wood in it, and you'll have some opal inside the conch wood, that's the stuff you really want to find. That's the stuff that really has some value in the long run. Yet, the reality is that for $200 or $600, I can buy some opal rough. I can buy some pretty good stuff that's way more stable than the stuff comes out of the Virgin Valley. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to visit there. I'm still going to dig at some of those places. And in one of these upcoming videos, I'll tell you about some of the changes that have happened in the Virgin Valley. And I wouldn't doubt that both these two mine owners that I was just talking about, that they have a big, big deal to do with the changes that have happened recently in the Virgin Valley. I would almost guarantee it, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and if there's not too many people visiting your mine, then you want to shut down any of their opportunities to go anywhere else so it'll drive them to you. I think that happened in the Virgin Valley recently. But that's the end of this rant. Story time, it's about over. I probably put some shots inside so that you could see some of the stuff I was talking about, since I was brain farting on names the whole time. And I love you for watching, and I'll see you soon.